everyone had a good, fun holiday, coming off another winning day, splitting on some dogs. Had a big one there, John, with Pittsburgh late night. They rallied back. Pirates big, plus over 2-1. They get it done. So small units up yesterday after losing a 2-unit bet, kind of evened out the what we were calling a push later last week with the minus 0.3 to plus 0.3. But in the green nonetheless, John, and another winning day going into, Wednesday, going to the Wednesday card.
Yeah, makes it 9 of 11, 9 of the last 11 days, winning days. Yesterday, 4th of July started with a bang. Cincy Reds get a start going. Hit a little lull, especially with the Angels, although they tried to make it interesting in the ninth. But then caught the Pirates a huge plus 230 dog. Great game. Jump out with 2 runs, give that right back, though, but they fought the whole way. They play them well. This is why we use the trends, guys. That's now 8 of the last 11 meetings Pirates have beaten the Dodgers. Pay attention to the trends. The trend is your friend.
Yep, we have a nice little card today. Some trends continuing. We'll get into it. A handful of day games. First game on the card is Cardinals at Miami. We do not have a pitcher listed here yet for St. Louis, so can't give you guys too much on this first game. It's going to be homing for Miami. You just got roughed up by Atlanta last time out. Right now, Marlins dominating this matchup. They're red hot. Cardinals ice cold. So this is going to end up probably being Miami or nothing the way the series has gone, depending on who St. Louis throws. But obviously no price there really.
Yeah, don't want nothing to do with St. Louis in this one, no matter who they throw. As we talked about yesterday, take out the 3 games Marlins lost at the Braves, and this team is just they're the second hottest team. St. Louis, we thought they were about to turn the corner. No such luck. They've been outscored in the first 2 games of this series. The Marlins got 19 hits. Wainwright, I think it just might be time to hang it up. I believe they're putting him on the IL after last night, just cause. So Miami and nobody in this one. Miami playing good baseball. I believe they now have second best home record within the NL with their win, and the Dodgers lost last night.
Yeah, I believe Wainwright's 2 wins away from 200. I think that's the last thing he's trying to get, and then he'll be done on his career. Next one, we have Cincy at Washington. John, you've got me both in the first 2 games of this series. You got the Sharps in both the first 2 games of this series. That's where the line's been moving in this one. Cincy takes the first 2. They're staying red hot now, 18-4 their last 22. Ashcraft versus Gray in this matchup. Ashcraft coming off a better start. He allowed 1 run in 6 2/3 for San Diego. 8 prior starts at a 12+ ERA. And then you have Josiah Gray, who's been solid his last 2 starts. Both on the road, though, allowed 1 run in 11 1/3. He has had his home struggles, 5.17 ERA this year, 5.94 in his career at home. Did just get announced to his first All-Star game, so it'll be his first start back at home after being an All-Star, a little something there. Just tough to go against Cincinnati right now. Ashcraft, have to see if he can do it twice in a row, but this Washington lineup down there right there. So this is slight lean here to Cincinnati. I like lean to the Nats in the first 2 games. Didn't go that way. Starting to buy into it here in this matchup, but I'm staying away, John.
Cincy and nobody. Same 2 teams again. Same scenario. So Cincy now 18-4 their last 2, 12-1 their last 13 on the road. Washington, guys, this is why we say all the time, you got to go to how to beat the bookie. Nobody rates teams the way I rate them. The rating is so crucial to have both a home and away rating. If you have just 1 rating, that's not the true measure of the team. No team is more different than the Nationals. 1 game under 500 on the road. They have an NL worst 13-29 home record. They've lost 12 of their last 13 at home. So home and away, the only way to rate teams. If you're doing anything else, you're not a handicapper. Red's red hot on the road. Nationals can't win at home. And now adding Gray, who on the road, I'm betting him every time out. At home, different pitcher. At home now, 2-3 with a 5.17 ERA this year, 4-12 with a 5.94 career ERA. We'll wait for the lineups, but it's Cincy and nobody.
Then we have the NL Central matchup of Cubs at Brewers. Cubs won it in extras yesterday, even the series up. That was a wild game. You have this Cubs team now 2-7 their last 9. Milwaukee, they've been playing decent ball, 7-3 their last 10. Steele versus Hauser. Steele leading the league in ERA. Ben Solidson's coming back, 3-0, 1.56 ERA. Hauser coming off a quality start versus the Mets. Prior to that, had a relief outing. They kind of been moving him in and out. Did have 6 shutout innings versus the Cubs last year. This is so what Steele's bringing you with this Cubs team. I mean, hard to imagine this price here with Steele. So would be a big pitching edge there. Tough to go against that. Cubs ice cold, Brewers red hot. 2 different things here. We talked about it the other day with pitchers going in different directions and with teams going in different directions in that Astros and Rangers matchup. Something similar here would be a slight lean to the Cubs with Steele on the bump.
Well, I'm on the home dog Brewers in this one. Steele gets a huge pitching advantage. Since coming back from the IL, it looks like he returned from the early part of the year. As Ben said, he leads an MLB in an ERA. Hauser is solid, though. He's usually better at home. Just can't make the Cubs this high of a favorite on the road. They're not getting the job done. As Ben said, lost 7 of 9. If Happ don't throw a couple of guys out at the plate last night, they're 1-8 in their last 9. I like the Brewers as a big home dog. I took plus 135 this morning.
Yeah, they do still play tomorrow, but Brewers and Cincy, but Brewers and Reds do match up this weekend. So for us, tomorrow's matchups will be a look ahead there. That'll be an interesting showdown. Then we have Mets going on to Arizona. Mets get the win last night. They've won 4 of 6 meetings. Senga versus Henry. Henry has been very solid. They've won his last 6 starts in the last 3, 4 runs in 18 1/3. Then you have Senga, who's been decent, but they've lost his last 3 starts, coming off 2 runs in 5 innings against Milwaukee. This Arizona team, it's just a cheap price for Henry. He's been very solid, very consistent. Senga, worse on the road, was a scratch yesterday. They gave him an extra day of rest. Always a little bit of concerning when you have a pitcher who gets bumped today. So this is a little bit of a pitching advantage here to Arizona and definitely a team advantage to Arizona, despite being a little bit colder right now. So this is D-backs or nobody for me.
Well, they bumped a day back because they wanted to get Scherzer in one more time before the All-Star break. So that's the whole answer for that. It's nothing physical with Senga. Senga's been good at home. On the road, different pitcher, 4.58 ERA in his road starts. Henry getting better with each start and pitches better at home. I had to take this one. You get the Mets still 4-11 their last 15 road games. You're going to make them a favorite on the road with a pitcher that doesn't pitch on the road against a team that's in first place with the second best record in the National League. I'm on the Diamondbacks in this one.
The Pirates at Dodgers. Pirates get it done last night, the big plus 230, and have to look back there again today. It's another big dog today, and it's a similar situation with the pitching matchup. Yesterday, a couple of rookies. Same thing here today, Beto versus Miller. Beto was roughed up his last time out, 4 runs in 3 1/3 against Milwaukee. He was solid in his prior 2 starts. And Miller, he allowed 3 runs in 5 2/3 against Kansas City. 2 starts before that, gave up 13 runs in 9 2/3. So it's just a pitching matchup that could have been in AAA a month and a half ago. So with that, can't make this price this big. Pirates, they compete in this matchup, 8 of the last 11 meetings. You're looking at another reason here to bet Pittsburgh today. Dodgers haven't been lighting it up this last couple of weeks, playing around 500 balls. So this is Pirates or nobody.
Exactly. Just exactly. Don't forget the names of the teams that are playing. Just look at the stats that we posted in the preview. Right now, Pirates scoring 6.38 runs per game. Their last 8. Dodgers, they've lost 3 or 4, scoring just 4.25 runs per game. 500 ball over their last 10. Now Dodgers have lost 2 at KC, 1 at Colorado, and Pittsburgh's beaten them 8 of the last 11. Let's give Miller a little bit of a pitching advantage. How much can you give him? Not enough to make them a 240 favorite. Pirates are no one.
That's A's at Detroit. Big price in this game for a pitcher returning. Rodriguez, he's coming back now. Will make his first start with the finger issue. He was great earlier in the year. We'll see how much he's back to that. And his rehab start did throw 4.1 shutout innings. And in 5 starts at home this year, has been very solid. 3-1, 1.65 ERA. Waldichuk, he's been getting roughed up. 10 runs over 15 2/3 and 7 June outings. Only 1 start there. A's kind of do own this matchup a little bit. 14 of the last 17 meetings. They get the win yesterday. This is one of those 0-0 games. They pulled it out 1-0 in extras. This is a big prize for the A's kind of owning this matchup. And you have a pitcher in Rodriguez returning. So there's definitely an angle here to argue for Oakland. Will be a lean there at this price. Can't make Rodriguez this big in his first start back. Can't make Detroit this big. Just tough to go against it with Waldichuk on the mound. So Oakland or nobody, but tough to get behind that with Waldichuk on the bump.
Just give me a sec because I'm pulling up lineups. All right, I'm back. Yeah, no, don't expect Rodriguez to come back. He threw. Don't expect him to come back and last too long. 4.1 innings in his last rehab. I would expect 5 innings tops. And the A's own this series, not a little bit. They own this series. Went a little further back. Oakland has gone to Detroit and won 22 of the last 26 meetings. Yes, these are different teams. I get it, but this is one of the trends. All of a sudden, Oakland now they've won 3 or 4, scoring 5.5 runs per game. Tigers still 10-8 in their last 18, just a huge number. Waldichuk, the manager said he's going to pitch the bulk of the innings. Now there might be an opener for him to follow, but we'll see where that line goes. Who the starting pitcher is. As of right now, there's not an actual line or an official pitcher announced for Oakland. But yeah, this is Oakland and nobody. They own them. A 1-0 game. Nobody scored yesterday. This is the 28th and 28 Tigers are 28th in offense. Oakland's last in offense. I'm a little tongue-tied this morning. So no reason to think there's going to be a lot of runs scored, and would like Oakland's chances if you get Rodriguez out of the game by 5 innings. A 2-change number. It's going to be Oakland and nobody.
That's going to be Orioles at Yankees. Orioles kind of following along with some of these other teams, Texas and Arizona, after the hot start this year, being up there in the top of their division, starting to have a little bit of a fall off. Baltimore dropping 6 of 7 now, scoring just 2.57 runs per game. Yankees, they've won 5 of 7. Their bats have woken up a little bit, scoring 6.5 runs per game in this stretch. Creamer versus Vasquez. Creamer last time out was roughed up for 7 runs. Vasquez, a little bit of a spot starter, only going to be his 3rd career start, made one earlier in June. So always a little tough when you have a spot starter, but still, this game is Yankees or nobody. Orioles ice cold right now. This is 2 teams trending in opposite directions. Creamer, sure, he can have the pitching advantage, being, proven big league arm, but nothing too crazy there to make them a road favorite the way the bats have been going. So this is Yankees or nobody. Been a tough series to get a read on, but Baltimore staying ice cold right now.
Yeah, ice cold. Just while we're on the get ready to talk about Baltimore, just want to bring up Grayson Rodriguez, who had been sent down. This guy's been absolutely on fire back in AAA. Would look for him to get called back up. 4-0 with a 1.83 ERA since being sent down. So expect him to be bounced back pretty soon into the rotation. Getting back to today's game, Orioles have just gone ice cold. Now lost 6 of 7, scoring just 2.57 runs a game, hitting a $197 over that span. And the Yankees, who we kept telling you, batting 211, 212, then got up to 217 without Judge, all of a sudden starting to hit. They've won 5 of their last 7, scoring 6.57 runs a game, hitting 278. Creamer crushed his last time out. Vasquez, he'll make his 3rd career start. These are all spot starts. He threw 5 2/3 innings in a 3-0 win over the White Sox, his last start, but that was earlier in June. This game right now, it opened up minus 125. It's down to about minus $0.10 on the Orioles. All the money's showing up for the Yankees, and it would be Yankees and nobody against an ice-cold Oriole team.
Yeah, Yankees, they get Rodon for his first start on Friday, and then Judge started hitting off a tee, so they're going to get some guys back, could go on a little bit of a run. We'll see if that's the case. And it's Texas at Boston. Texas gets the win last night. Sox had won the 5 prior meetings in Boston. Great pitching matchup today. It's going to be Gray versus Bayo. Bayo, all 5 June starts, quality starts, was terrific. 2-2, 2.14 ERA. Had 6 shutout innings versus the Rangers last season. And then Gray, last time out was roughed up. been roughed up in 2 of his last 3 starts. Now give up 5 runs in 6 innings. So a little bit of a drop off. He was having a career year prior to those couple of starts. We'll see if he gets back on track. Has had great road numbers, 4-1, 1.99. Got to give the edge to Bayo as far as right now. He's just been terrific in the month of June. So we'll see if he picks that up where he left off. This game to me is Boston or nobody. And they're coming off that sweep against Toronto. I thought the bats are waking up here. And this Red Sox team been very streaky. But Bayo's been one of the more consistent parts of the team this year. So this is Red Sox or no one for me. We'll see if Gray can bounce back at Fenway.
Yeah, I'm going to give Bayo the pitching edge also. Gray was having a phenomenal year. He develops a blister. They skip him a turn, and now he's got banged out pretty hard in 2 of his last 3 starts. Bayo, all 5 June starts, quality starts, 2.14 ERA, looking real good. Problem is, all of a sudden, the Red Sox, they hit great in Toronto, but they got swept at home prior to going to Toronto, and now lost 4 straight at home, scoring a total of 5 runs over those 4 games. They do hit 286 at Fenway. Got to see if they can get those bats going. I make this line right where it's at. It's a pick'em game. Texas a slight favorite. I'll stay off this one.
KC at Minnesota, and they just can't get it done there. Twins won first 2 of the series, 17-7. They won 8 of the last 9 meetings this year, 12 of the last 13 in Minnesota. Absolutely own the matchup, and as they need to if they want to take care of business in this division. Going to be Marsh versus Lopez. Marsh, only 1 career start, roughed up by the Dodgers for 5 runs in 4 innings. And Lopez, 4 of his last 5 starts are quality starts, has had some home struggles this year. 2 starts against the Royals this year. They won both starts, but the one in Minnesota, 6 runs in 6 innings. He is 2-2, 5.94 at home this season. Can't go against Minnesota in this spot. Just own the matchup. Have to take care of business for the division. Talked about it throughout the series. So Twins are nobody on the run lines. How would continue to play this. Also got to look at the over of this pitching matchup. Wouldn't be surprised if KC continues to get to Lopez at home, but he's been better lately. So Twins are nobody on the run line. They dominate this matchup. I expect that to continue.
Yeah, Lopez hasn't been great at home, but he's been pitching better. 4 of the last 5 starts, quality starts. KC just can't get it done. 29th in scoring, 3.79 runs per game, and they got the 2nd worst road record in baseball. Minnesota owns them. Not looking to take a number with Marsh, who got lit up in his first career start.
And it's Blue Jays at White Sox. Blue Jays another win in the series yesterday. They've won 8 of the last 10 meetings. Toronto team coming off that getting swept by Boston. And meanwhile, White Sox have now lost 3 of 4 as well. Barrios versus Lynn. Barrios roughed up his last time out, 4 runs, 3 homers in 6 innings. So wasn't giving up too many hits, but the hits he were giving up were the big ones. Did have 8 Ks, no walks. And then he had 7 shutout innings versus White Sox. So this year, a little bit of road struggles for him. Lynn coming off a 1-2, 6.28 June. He's worse at home, 7.22 ERA. Jays put up 4 runs on him earlier this year. Pitching edge has to go to Barrios in this matchup. Team edge has to go to Toronto. They dominate this. This is Toronto or nobody. Slightly into the over as well. Just can't be back in Lynn here at this price. We need a lot more.
Yeah. Don't want nothing to do with the White Sox all in. Every time we think the White Sox are going to be turning the corner, here comes those lousy games. Lynn started to look good. He had that crazy game, 16 strikeouts, few starts back. No much better. 1-2, 6-2, 8-5 June starts. And Toronto's, not only have they beaten them all 4 this year, they've beaten by a combined 24-5. Toronto belongs to be a slight favorite on the road, and that's what they are. I'll stay off this one.
Rockies at Astros, and just can't even look at Colorado with Anderson on the mound after his last 3 starts. Gave up 22 runs, 23 hits, and 9 1/3. Granted, was facing some better lineups, Dodgers, Braves, and Angels, but still pretty rough there. Meanwhile, France, 5 straight quality starts. So this is a complete pitching mismatch. You have Astros red hot. They had the letdown spot yesterday. It didn't matter to them. They picked up where they left off. They've won 6 of 7. And for a team who's been trailing in that division the entire first half of the season, heading into the All-Star break red hot, I don't imagine that's cooling off anytime soon. Square play, but Astros on the run line or nothing here.
That was the spot was yesterday. You thought I thought there'd be a letdown. I thought it would be a good spot. Pena was still out, and then we get the news, late scratch, Altuve. Got to bet Colorado under those circumstances. Will not bet them today. Colorado, worst team in the National League, just can't get it done. They've got the worst NL road record. 13-30, 29th, scoring just 3.67 runs per game on the road. Take out what they do at Coors. Just can't bet them. Big pitching mismatch with France. Altuve's probably out again, and Pena's still waiting on that lineup. But no reason I want to bet the Rockies in this one, even with the big number.
And Phillies at Tampa Bay. Phillies win at 3-1 yesterday. TV had won the 7 prior meetings. This Phillies team, 10 straight road games for a team that was struggling on the road to start the season. Now won 10 straight and some tough road opponents in that as well. Meanwhile, the Rays, they've now lost 3 straight, just 6-9 their last 15. They're hitting some struggles. And another pitching mismatch here. Phillies, they got Walker going lights out in June. 5 straight quality starts, 5-0, 0.84 ERA. It is a little bit worse on the road, but last couple been better. And then you have Little going here for Tampa Bay, going to be as an opener. Chirinos to follow. So another one of these patented Rays bullpen games. Chirinos coming off a quality start. We'll see if he can bounce back there. Just has to be Phillies or nobody with Walker on the mound. Yes, the road number is a bit concerning, but what they've been doing lately on the road and what he did all June, just too much to be a road dog here. So this to me is Phillies or nobody.
Yeah, 2 teams going in different directions. And we can now officially say that with Tampa Bay. But just keep in mind, Tampa Bay, yes, they did lose at home yesterday, still have the best home record, 34-11, still third in runs scored. But again, 2 teams going different directions, a big time pitching mismatch. Tampa Bay, I make them just a little smaller of a favorite, but not enough to want to take Philly in this spot. We'll see if we actually use that as our post today on Instagram, which trend will end. Philly's 10 straight road wins, or Tampa Bay, Major League Baseball best, 34-11 at home.
And then we finally had someone stop the Braves. Guardians win it in the 10th yesterday. They've split the first 2 of this series. Braves obviously had won their 9 prior, 16-2 their last 18. Absolutely red hot right now. Cleveland, they won 3 of 4. Getting that win yesterday is everything. Soroka versus Quantrill. Soroka coming off a quality start after being called back up. And then Quantrill just been horrible his last 3 starts. Gave up 6 runs last time out in his return from the IL. And then he was 0-2, giving up 14 runs and 8 1/3 before that. Really tough to back a pitcher going that way against this Atlanta offense right now. Just the way they've been going. I have to look at the over in this matchup. We'll say, wouldn't be surprised if Braves drop a couple in a row after the long streak. They do get Tampa Bay next. So, maybe a potential best AL versus NL team, World Series look ahead. So, a little bit of a spot here for Guardians, perhaps. Just tough to get on Quantrill right now, the way he's been going. So, slightest of leans to the Guardians. Don't want to be backing Quantrill against the best offense in baseball.
Yeah, no, this team's still a machine. So before last night, they had won 9 straight, 16 of 17. They lead the majors by far with 163 homers, second in batting average, second in runs scored. Just an offensive machine this team is. Clace comes into close. Yesterday, he blows it again. That's his second straight blown save. He blew the one Sunday at Chicago Cubbies. Guardians played without Naylor. He leads the team in RBIs and batting average. He's doubtful again today. We'll see what happens with him. Soroka, I want to see what happens. Now, Soroka had a quality start against the Marlins. If they can get Soroka anywhere near where he was, you just add another arm to that arsenal. So let's see what happens against the Guardians. But, yeah, I don't want to back Quantrill. Demolished in his first time back. The sharps bet so high against him, they actually forced us into a bet on Quantrill where we never normally back a pitcher coming off that first start back from the IL. I expect more of the same. I expect money to come against Quantrill, but not interested, certainly not at this number.
The Angels at Padres, and what's left of the Angels, I should say. So you have everyone on the IL. Tani and Rendon both leave last night. We'll see if either could be in the lineup tonight. I imagine they're extremely cautious with Otani, so I don't see him in the lineup today. We'll see what happens. Angels really struggling right now. Now lost 6 of 7. The whole team's banged up. Just not looking good for them. And Padres, they've won 3 of 4. They keep doing this. They win a couple of games. The bats wake up. They go crazy, and then they fall off a cliff. So is this real? We'll see. Sandoval versus Lugo. Lugo's been very solid for them, but they've lost 7 of his last 8 starts. He is coming off a quality start. and Sandoval. They've lost 7 of his last 8 starts. He was roughed up his last time by the White Sox, giving us a little pitching edge here to Lugo. Team edge has to go to Padres right now, just so banged up. This Angels team really tough heading into the All-Star break. Big price on this game. Wouldn't want to lay this with San Diego. Cannot back whatever's left of the Angels right now.
And that's the key, whatever's left of the Angels. So throw the ratings out here. Don't even look at the ratings. You've already had Urshela gone for the season. Nito and Drury on the IL. Yesterday they put Trout on the IL, and now Rendon and Ohtani leave the game. So this is not an Angel team. It's not what's left of the Angel team. I don't know who they'll have in the lineup today. Sandoval been getting demolished. Can't back Sandoval in this spot. So the line looks huge. Under normal circumstances, we'd be betting all over this. But the Angels have finally hit the spot Ben has been telling you about. Here comes that season soon. Well, here it is. Most of the guys on the injured list. We'll see if Ohtani plays. If Ohtani and Rendon were to play, there could be a little value at this huge number. But we just do get to feel, look, I've been saying it over and over. We look at that San Diego lineup, and it just has to click. And so now they've won 3 of their last 4 games, scoring 8.25 runs a game and hitting 292. Maybe it happens going into the All-Star break. We'll see. Just can't back the Angels without Ohtani, without Rendon, with the other guys on the IL, and with Sandoval pitching.
Yeah, it couldn't come at a worse time with the Astros heating up at the same time, just getting separation there. Angels, after a good start, just 2 games above 500. Now, they could fall below 500 by the All-Star break, as crazy as that is. Then you have Seattle versus San Francisco. Seattle coming off a 6-0 win. They've now won 4 of the last 5 meetings. Going to be tough to back them today, and that's as cold as the Giants are right now. You have 6 of 7 they've lost, hitting just 193 for San Francisco. You have Cobb versus Malone. Cobb, they won all 4 of his June starts, and return was decent. 2 earned runs in 5 innings versus Malone, who's just a spot starter, definition of a spot starter, career spot starter at this point. So it's hard to back the Giants at this price with how cold they've been. I don't want to be backing Malone. Mariners are nobody just because it's hot versus cold. They own the matchup a little bit, but pitching edge here scares me off this game. So slide is a leans to Seattle, but I'm staying clear away from this one.
Yeah. The only thing with Malone on the mound, he's a lefty, so you're probably looking at Peterson, Conforto, maybe the lefties sitting for San Fran, so they'll go in with that righty lineup. Mariners hot, Giants cold. I mean, Giants have just fought. They fell right off the cliff. They got red hot and then just ice cold. Now batting just 193 over their last 7 games. They've lost 6 of 7, scoring just 2.43 runs a game. So with Malone, as we said, this is a 36-year-old journeyman. Hasn't pitched more than 9 games in any one major league season since 2019. Does he come up with a game and give you 4 solid innings? Cobb has been good, but he was great earlier in the year. And he's been great at home. Let's see if that returns. At this number could only be the Mariners and nobody. I'm not on anybody yet. Who knows? We'll see what the lineups and lines go to later.
Yeah, Seattle has one of the deeper rotations too, so I have to be dipping into Malone. So concerning, you add in, the main guys, Gilbert, Kirby, and Castillo, and then that's not to mention, Gonzalez or Miller, the kid they brought up, and then Flexen, who got released, and then who else you got?
Flexen over to the Mets.
Yep.
What we did get is we got the good Gilbert yesterday. We say it all the time. If we know what Gilbert's coming, we'll know who to bet. Yesterday, he spins a shutout on a San Francisco team right now that just can't hit. So it's just hard to make San Fran a 165, 170 favorite when you're not scoring any runs, regardless of the pitching mismatch.
That's the Wednesday card, guys. Already a couple of bets out. Likely a couple more to be added. We'll see where these lines go. A lot of question marks as far as who's going to be in or out after a holiday. A lot of day games. So definitely something to be looking out for lineups today. Some pitchers haven't been announced yet. As you guys know, if you guys go sign up on howtobeatthebookie.com or download the app, you guys will get this information updated throughout the day and any bets that get added throughout the day as well. Make sure you guys get on that. Been red hot, John. 9 of the last 11 days, winning days.
Going to keep this going right through the All-Star break and crush it right till football season.
Yep, that's the game plan, guys. If you guys want to be a part of it, you know where to sign up. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's make some money, John.
Let's make some money.